Hello, everyone. It's time for a writing update. And I know this is going to sound a little crazy because obviously, if you've been paying attention, you've seen some announcements, you've seen some videos, you've seen some posts. So I want to tell you a little bit about what's going on, where I'm at, what I've written recently, and what we can be hoping for and expecting in the next few months, essentially. So, let's get right into it because I have a lot to tell you. I've done a lot of things over the last few years. I've done short stories, I've done novels, I've done novellas. I've had fun writing little blog posts and different devotions. I've been published in various different forms for for short fiction, super short fiction in newspapers, etc., and also for short nonfiction. And I've been published in various different blogs across various different channels, right? So I've been publishing and getting my name in print since, when was that? 2016 or 2017, essentially. I've been writing in various different forms in all sorts of ways. All of that time, so I started my YouTube channel in 2018, and for all of the time that I've been on YouTube, all of the time that I've been writing, I've been aiming in the direction of having a book published, being out there with a book, specifically in fiction. And I wrote, when I was in high school, I wrote about a book a year. Like, I've been writing for as long as I can remember being a person with adult like thoughts. So, I wanted to give you an update about what's happening, where things are going, what we can expect. The big news is I have a book coming out this fall, August 2026. It is The Regulars of Amanda Lexi follows Amanda, who is our friendly neighborhood barista, and all of the characters who are in her drive-through window as she is serving them coffee every day. This coffee shop, unknowingly to the people who are in the coffee shop, is the favored spot for a lot of people on both sides of the law. We have police officers, we have FBI agents, we have mob bosses, and we have low level hackers who are trying to find their way in the criminal underworld. And all of them favor Amanda's coffee shop. And also, she is their favorite barista. She makes their drinks right all the time. She knows them by name. She recognizes them when they drive up in the window. And this is the setting in which we have this crazy little caper of some criminals stealing some things and trying to get away with it, and the FBI and police trying to catch them and stop them. And of course, our favorite barista is caught in the middle of everything. So, if you know a barista who likes to read, or even if they don't like to read, I think they might give this book a try. I have a few friends who don't love reading, and obviously they're my friends, so they're biased, but it is designed to be binged. This book is literally designed from start to finish, from how the text is laid out on the page, the size of the book, the feel of the book, how the text flows from page to page, the length of the chapters. Everything about this book is designed to be read in about one sitting, maximum two, where you sit down for an afternoon and you have a good time. That is the goal of this book. It is a fun little cozy thriller with a higher level stakes kind of plot than you would get with a mystery, but it is a lower level intensity than, say, international espionage. Right? We're not dealing with anything there. It's super local. It's got some fun little nods to Colorado culture, fun little mountain town experiences. I say fun, less fun. It's a thriller, so But if if you're in Colorado and you're looking for a local read, or if you are a barista or you know a barista, I really would appreciate if you would tell them about this book because it's designed for them. Obviously, if you like crime fiction, you're going to have a good time as well, but it really is, like, literally, the dedication is to baristas everywhere. Thank you for keeping us caffeinated. Here's proof. So, this is the book that's coming out this fall. I cannot wait for you to actually get your hands on this thing. People on Goodreads have already started leaving reviews, and I'm so grateful for everybody who is reading the book ahead of time. They're being honest and they're telling you what they like, what they don't like. I've already run the gambit of pretty much every star rating level, so if you're looking for a fun, quick read that is entertaining and engaging, and some people call smart and witty, other people have named it as one of their top reads for 2026, if you're looking for that kind of thing, stay tuned because as soon as pre-order is up, I will be letting you know. Okay, other bits about what I'm doing, what I'm writing, where I'm at, what is happening in all of this, right? This is not the book that I thought was going to be my debut. I had a few other projects in the works that I'm been editing, been rewriting, been things that I pitched to literary agents, things that I've queried in different ways. And all of that back and forth, all of the submitting and then waiting and then submitting and then waiting and then researching more agents and then saying, well, this is my dream agent. I think she's a good fit for me, but also she's not ever open for queries when I'm submitting. All of that back and forth and strange other open doors have led to The Regulars of Amanda Lexie being my debut, which is super cool, super fun. I'm excited about that. But I'm still working on other books. I'm still working on other projects because I'm a big believer in don't write one book and stop. Obviously, I mean, I've been writing, like I said earlier, I've been writing about a book a year or a book every like 2 or 3 years since I started writing in seventh grade. I don't know how to stop writing. I do have other projects that are in the works that I'm creating, that I'm editing, that I'm kind of reworking. And one of those is the project that I would like to tell you a little bit of an update on, since The Regulars of Amanda Lexie very much took me by surprise. And the reality of, you know what, I have all of this story written, I have it all compiled, I want it to be as discoverable as possible for all sorts of readers. And it turns out a blog is not the best way to do that for fiction. So if you saw it on my blog, it's different now. It's been changed, it's been edited, it's been a little bit expanded. I think it's better now. What you saw on my blog was really, really early drafts, which was really important for me so that I could actually get it written. But it is not the final version of everything. So I do recommend still taking a look at it if you get the chance through your library. Maybe if you're like, well, I read it for free already, I'd rather read it for free again. Absolutely request it at your library. I would love that. Anyway, the book that I want to tell you about is the project that I've been working on since probably this last January. So, January 2026, I started a rewrite because I got some feedback on a novel that I had finished. I sent it to some people to read, and they said, hey, this is really interesting. And as I was looking at that novel, after I let it sit for a while, after I sat with that feedback, I decided that the best way to solve these problems was to start from a blank page, because that's usually how I solve my writing problems. Is I take the characters and I tweak them and I put them into yet another book, similar plot, but at this point, I mean, I could change names and we would have completely, more or less completely different stories just because of how things are going down. So when I first wrote the draft that was read, it was written more like a thriller. You knew who you were up against. It was a much more psychological, kind of twisty, college kids are investigating a murder kind of story. That is still the heart of it, but this is much more standard, stereotypical mystery now. So the version that I'm working on now, the rewrites, I cut a bunch of characters. They're still there because they're part of the background in the world now, but they're not key point of view characters anymore. I changed the background for one of the characters because it just simply wasn't very realistic. Well, sometimes that can be very fun. It was not going to be a good fit for this book, so I rearranged that a little bit. And then I reworked the plot. So, because this is written as a mystery now instead of a thriller, there's different pacing, there's different beats that need to be followed. How and when the investigation begins, all of that changes a little bit. So even like the stakes have to change a little bit and how our characters are finding out about things. One of the biggest tension points actually was whether or not these characters could successfully know what they were doing in this investigation. How would they be finding this information? How would they go after this? And why are they going after it and not the police? Why are they not bumping into each other all the time? So in this new version, I've reworked the timeline so that it makes sense why these characters are pursuing this investigation as opposed to why are they police or not, right? Why does it have to be them? What are they doing? Why is it these characters? So all that is now worked into the plot, and I am very excited to say that as of right now, And this is also really funny because I have both of these books kind of working in my brain at the same time. So I have the regulars of Amanda Lexi, and then I also have what I'm tentatively calling Breaking Point. That title fit before. It doesn't really fit as much now, and don't mind the like spooky storytelling. It's just that my tablet is lighting up my face. I was gonna get the word count for you. Here we go. Word count as of right now for Breaking Point, which again, working title, I don't know. It worked really well for the first book. I don't think it actually fits as thematically now, so we're probably going to change that title. Current word count is 13,000 words, 293. Also, why are we doing this in word counts instead of like page counts? If you are a writer, you already know, but for those of us who are not writers in the audience, anybody watching who is not a writer, the reason that writers count words instead of pages is, and I'm actually going to show you some examples, a couple books actually to show you examples of this. This is the book that I'm currently reading. This is Safecracker. This book is amazing, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. It's going on my list of near perfect thrillers, so keep that in mind if you're looking for the kinds of books that I like to read, and if you want me to ever read your book, aim for this. It's fantastic, and I will never shut up about it from here on out. The thing about this book that's interesting, if you notice, halfway through the book, we're at chapter 63. This book has multiple 1 or 2 page chapters. Almost every chapter taps out at 3 or 4 pages, which adds a ton of white space as we're looking at the book. There's tons of paper that's not being used, which is increasing the page count and is increasing, it's just increasing how long the book is. It's also impacting the pacing, which is something I've talked about before. Pacing is partially how quickly the story moves, and also partially how quickly your eyes move across the page when you're reading. How quickly you actually read the scene impacts heavily the pacing of how you engage with the story. This is why The Lord of the Rings is such a hard read, because it's so much text all the time. There's very little break. Even the dialogue is like long blocks of text, right? This book, there's lots of short paragraphs, tons and tons, like this, almost this whole page is short little lines, right? And that impacts the pacing. It makes this a really fast read, even though it's such a thick book. Another example of this, however, if we look at The Ever Nevers 13, this book has a lot more space between the lines. This is a middle grade book. It's designed to be read really quickly and to be binged really easily. Also, the font size is bigger. If we compare these two side by side, you'll see that even though the pacing of this book is designed to be read really quickly anyway because of how it's laid out and how it's written, this one is also designed to be really easy to read because of how the pacing is done, right? I guarantee that this book has fewer words despite having 341 pages, and this book having closer to 415 pages. Ultimately, that's only a 70-ish page difference, but they look about the same, despite the fact that this one is probably in the 60 to 80,000 word range, and this one is probably in the 40 to 50,000 word range. Why does this matter? I was telling you about page counts and why writers use word counts instead of page counts to identify length. But if you're new here, let me tell you how many pages my current work in progress, my current WIP is. Presently, 50 pages, Word document pages, by the way, long. So we're only about, let's say I said 13,000 words. I'm aiming for 60,000. If that gives you any sort of basis for how long or how short this book will be. The big difference here, I am, like I said, 13,000 words into my current WIP with the college students. The book that I'm releasing, I want you to get this in your head. The book that I'm releasing this August is just over 30,000 words. It will be about 170 pages, laid out with plenty of space, designed, again, totally designed to be binged. And you can binge any novel, but when I say that this one is literally from start to finish, from the design, from the layout, from how it's written, the size of the book, it's literally completely designed to be, here's your book, read it in 4 hours or less, enjoy. The work in progress that I'm on right now is just over a third. And depending on how you count, it's almost half of the length in 6 chapters of what I did in 24 chapters in the book that's coming out. Stories are so cool. They require as many or as few words as it takes to tell the story well. And I think that's one of the cool things that I've learned as I've matured as a writer, is that writing a short story versus writing a long story, the length doesn't matter as long as the story has been told well. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. The length doesn't matter as long as the story has been told well. That is one of the most important things that you can learn as a writer. You don't, I mean, obviously there are certain things that are like set word counts for expectations for the genre. People expect a thriller to be a certain amount, like people expect a fantasy to be a certain amount. You you can write a short book and tell the story in the best way possible that that story needs and be totally fine. Sometimes books take a lot longer. Sometimes they take a lot shorter. So have fun with your writing if you're also a writer here. If you're a reader, tell me in the comments, do you like longer books or shorter books? Does a book have to be 500 pages or 400 pages before you even think about picking it up? I want to know. I want to hear from you. How does length impact your reading experience? And I'm just so excited because things are finally, after all of these years, happening in my writing career in a different way and in the way that I like. It's not the way that I thought they would happen, but it is what feels right for this project at this time. And for the upcoming projects we're going to assess, we'll figure out what the right thing is for the projects that are coming, right? I assume I'm going to aim for publishing my little college student mystery. That will happen eventually because I really like it. I really love the characters. I think that the plot is really fun to play with. Am I going to do it the same way that I did the regulars? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out when the time comes. Is it going to go down the same way? Probably not. I hope not. Signing a contract in April and releasing a book in August is whirlwind, and I don't recommend it for anybody. Take your time. The only reason that that was even reasonable or possible is because of who I'm publishing with, the fact that I work in book publishing, and how ready and clean the story was when I submitted it to the publisher. It's the only reason it's even possible. And also, I pushed for that timeline on my own. That wasn't something that the publisher asked me to do. I pushed for that timeline, mostly because I want you guys to have a book in your hands. I told you earlier this year, that is my goal for this year, is for you guys to have a book in your hands. And so the fact that I found a publisher who is willing to do that with me is amazing and phenomenal, and I am really, really grateful for how this is all working. So that is my writing update. That is my news. The Regulars by Amanda Lexi is not up for pre-order yet, but as soon as it is, I will update the links down below. If you want to be the first person to know about things, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and subscribe to my email list or my website. Either way, they're slightly different, but you'll get the update no matter what. So if you really want to be the first to know about things, this is how. I'm posting over on my Instagram as well. I'm posting on my TikTok, posting on Threads now. That's been super fun. But all of that to say, the places that I'm mostly giving updates are right here on YouTube. So make sure that that notification bell is turned on and that you're subscribed, and over on Instagram and in my blog. So make sure that you're subscribed to my website if you really want like all of the book news, you want links, you want first dibs on everything. That's where you have to be for that kind of stuff. But if you're just looking for fun little updates, you want videos instead of, written emails, I totally get it. I'm the same way sometimes. So subscribe here, and don't worry, I will be telling I'll be so obnoxious about it, you won't be able to avoid it if I'm doing my job right. I hope I'm not so obnoxious that I'm annoying, but I am very excited and I couldn't be here without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And until next time, I will see you then. Happy reading!